The family of a CU student who was found dead in Boulder Canyon are still demanding answers this week. Now they're taking their mission straight to campus. And the federal government is still trying to prevent a shutdown by the end of the month. But each side of the political aisle has their own demands. And your weekend is expected to stay sunny and warm unless you're in the mountains. Then you might be in for the exact opposite. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm Brianna Fernandez. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm filling in for Lauren Scafidi. Now I do want to send things over to our weather impact meteorologist, Jaden Knowles, because Jaden, you and I were talking. It is going to be beautiful here in the Denver metro area. But if you're leaf peeping, different story.
Different story, especially over towards the eastern plains today. I mean, starting around 3 p.m., we could see some strong storms. We're not expecting to see severe storms towards the eastern plains or even the high country, but towards the eastern plains, possibility is there for some gusty winds, maybe some small hail. But good morning to everyone. Good morning to Kim. I'm talking about the city. Not if your name is Kim, good morning to you too. But so far, looking at mostly cloudy conditions there, we did see some isolated showers continuing to move towards the eastern plains. But here's really the main weather story this morning. We're talking about that dense fog advisory that goes until 9 a.m. this morning, and hopefully start to see some clearer conditions. But temperatures on the cooler side, we're in the low to mid 50s, the upper 50s in Centennial. You're at 52 at the airport currently. And here's your temperatures across the rest of the state. Noticing the low to mid 50s for the eastern plains, 40s in the high country, then also the upper 50s for the western slope. So as I mentioned, we've been tracking these isolated showers really all morning. The consistent rain has been down towards the southeastern portions of the state near Lamar, especially up towards the northeast towards Sterling. But at the high country near Aspen and Glenwood Springs, you are actually seeing some isolated showers as well. So here's a closer look at it. Fort Morgan, you saw those, maybe even some rumbles of thunder, but that now is starting to dissipate just a little bit. So that's the good news there. But here's what's in my forecast. Here in the metro area, really a nice and warm day, 81 degrees. But if you're heading out to the CU game, of course, I'll talk about your forecast more in depth in my full forecast. Brianna?
Jaden, thank you. Law enforcement in Texas is asking for help in Colorado with decades-old murder case that has gone cold. In 1984, Roberta Mama's skeletal remains were found in a remote area about 65 miles northwest of Dallas-Fort Worth. Officials didn't identify her until last year by using advanced forensic techniques and DNA analysis. She was 25 at the time that she died. The Texas Rangers say Mama may have spent time before that in Colorado, specifically in Denver and Boulder. They now want to speak with anyone who has seen her since when she was here in Boulder, Tennessee, or Texas. Students and staff at Evergreen High School will return to the classroom a little more than a week after a shooting rocked the community. This is a look at next week's schedule. Monday, staff will return. Then there's going to be a parent information session at Bergen Park Church Monday and Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, there's going to be an open house walkthrough for parents and students at the school. A 2-day student gradual return to EHS will take place Thursday and Friday. Jeffco Public Schools says that there's going to be check-in process when people arrive to the building. The family of Megan Trussell is pushing for another look at their daughter's death, which investigators have ruled a suicide. Trussell was a student at CU when her body was found in Boulder Canyon earlier this year. So this all happened back in February. During Parents Weekend at CU, Megan's family handed out cards with information on her case. Megan's family has since the beginning, they've been criticizing the investigation. The hope is that this weekend will provide the family a chance to speak to a wider audience as they push for answers.
I'll never know what happened exactly to Megan, especially since they are investigating, but maybe we can prevent it from happening again by spreading awareness.
On the flyers was a QR code for a petition to reopen Megan's case. Megan's family says that that petition will eventually be sent to the governor's office for consideration. Barry Murphy, the man accused of killing his wife, Suzanne Murphy, 5 years ago, is out of jail this morning. Murphy posted bail yesterday after supporters raised money needed to cover his $3 million bail. The judge allowed him to use a surety that usually means putting up a 10% of the total. As a result, it's likely it cost $300,000 to pay his bail. Murphy had to surrender his passport, and he was fitted with a GPS monitor, something 9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson called an important safeguard.
In serious cases, electronic monitoring of the presence or absence of an accused is routine. Judges, for obvious reasons, want to make sure that people who are released on bond don't flee the jurisdiction or, even worse, flee the country.
Murphy is expected to be back in court on November 3rd. An investigation is underway after Aurora police used a lethal force against a teenage boy who they say was making threats. This happened Wednesday night around 7:30 at the Conoco along Alameda and Havana. Aurora police say the teen called 911 and claimed he was armed and about to shoot up the gas station. When officers responded, they say they tried a less than lethal force with a foam rounds. That didn't work, according to the chief. And then when the teen charged at officers, one of them fired a gun. This is the 5th officer involved shooting in Aurora this year. The city is on track to see more cases by the end of this year. Denver has 8 so far and may see more cases as well. The teen's identity has yet to be released, and police have not recovered a gun at the scene. Arvada police have arrested a man after a body was found in a black box near a dumpster at an apartment complex. Arvada police say a maintenance worker found the body of a 29-year-old woman Monday morning. This all happening at the Perch on 52nd Apartments. It's unclear how she died, but police say her death is suspicious. Police arrested Daniel Ryan Clark on suspicion of abusing a corpse, tampering with a dead body, and tampering with physical evidence. He is being held in the Jefferson County Jail. The NTSB has released its preliminary report on a deadly plane crash in Inglewood earlier this month. We now know the crash on September 5th south of Centennial Airport happened during an instructional flight. The report says the pilot receiving instruction was getting training as he planned to buy a similar plane. Flight data shows the plane took off and performed several landings before one last stop-and-go landing. But the pilot radio was lost after that, and the plane stopped climbing and started falling. A firefighter on the ground said he heard the engine stop. A woman who lives nearby also said she heard the engine go silent. The victims have been identified as 52-year-old Perry Matt Feeney from Arvada and 64-year-old Lee Rob Hill from Greenwood Village. Police are investigating after 3 gunshots were fired into the lobby of ABC 10 building in Sacramento. This actually happened just before 2 yesterday afternoon. Investigators say that this was a drive-by shooting. There were employees in the building at the time, but fortunately no one was hurt. Right now, detectives are trying to look at all the surveillance video, searching for any suspect information.
Fortunately, we haven't had a lot of attacks on our media partners, and we like to keep it that way. This is unacceptable behavior, and so, to those that may have been responsible for this, I hope you see this, we're not going to stop looking for you. This is unacceptable behavior. It's not going to be tolerated in Sacramento.
ABC 10's parent company, Tegna, is the same owner we have right here at 9 News. The company released a statement saying, quote, "While details are still limited, importantly, all of our employees are safe and unharmed. We are fully cooperating with law enforcement and have taken additional measures to ensure the continued safety of our employees," end quote. Congress has just under 2 weeks to avoid a partial government shutdown at the end of the month. But Republicans and Democrats in the Senate are in standoff over health care spending cuts. A new budget year starts October 1st, but Congress isn't going to have a full spending plan in place by then. Instead, they're racing to pass continuing resolutions, stopgap spending bills to keep federal agencies running for a few weeks past the October deadline. House Republicans have already passed a continuing resolution to keep government spending bills stable for the next 7 weeks and add in $88 million to beef up security for lawmakers. Democrats in the Senate, including Colorado's Michael Bennet and John Hickenlooper, voted to reject it. Instead, they tried and failed to pass their own spending bill, which would reverse recent cuts to Medicaid and extend federal health care insurance grants. Congress doesn't have much time to come to an agreement. Lawmakers are out of session next week for the Jewish New Year. The Senate won't be back in session until September 29th. And if you're trying to follow federal vaccine policy, better brace yourself for the back and forth. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s newly appointed vaccine committee is making changes by the day. Friday, a CDC vaccine advisory panel voted to limit the COVID vaccine, recommending it to only folks over 65, and only after they've spoken to their doctor. This comes after the panel voted to not allow a federal program to cover the cost of the MMRV vaccine that protects against measles as well as chickenpox. But Colorado expected this to happen. They recently passed a law that allows the state's health board to abandon its old method of relying on the CDC recommendation for school-age vaccinations. Instead, Colorado now allows the board to consider recommendations from a reputable health agency that has not been overly politicized.
We definitely were proactive because we could see the writing on the wall, and unfortunately that's coming to fruition, out in Washington, D.C.
Malika says he plans to bring a bill next session that involves the insurance component of this, and he believes that now that the law and the vaccine guidance is in place, it lays a foundation for the insurance conversation.